everyone. Welcome to Clarity 16.1 Supportability and Feature Training. My name is Dave Sprague. In this section, we will review Clarity's audit enhancements for the modern user experience. So what's new? Administrative users now have access to the audit details directly from the modern user experience. There is now an audit tile available from the Modern UX administration area, providing users with audit details for audit-enabled objects. In order to access the audit tile, a new permission is required. This new permission is Administration Audit Navigate. The Modern User Experience audit listing itself leverages the same configurable grid toolset utilized throughout Clarity. So why is this important? Clarity administrators are often on the receiving end of auditor requests for detailed audit reports. Well, now administrators can leverage the modern user experience to comply with those requests. This is a request from the Customer Innovation Program, so we're happy to deliver this customer requested capability. With the modern UX administrative audit foundation in place, in future releases, Clarity is ready to introduce audit modules which can be configured via a blueprint. So project managers can get to detailed information, audit information in the context of their investment in view. So what's changed? As I mentioned, an audit tile is available to users with the Administration Audit Navigate permission. Once within the Modern UX audit area, users will also require the Audit Trail access right to view audit details. So classic users that already have that Audit Trail access right will only require the new Administration Audit Navigate permission to get to this information from the modern user experience. Now, the method from Classic to enable audit for Clarity objects is not changing. In addition, the existing Classic Global Audit page remains in place by navigating through to the Administration Audit Trail area. Here we are taking a look at the Modern UX page, and it leverages the configurable grid toolset leveraged throughout Clarity. So users should be very familiar with column and flyout configuration, save views, robust filtering, group by, and export to CSV. The audit grid column naming conventions used in the modern UX user experience are different from those in Classic. The table on the right represents the naming comparisons between the modern user experience and Classic. A few minor tweaks were made to improve the experience on for naming conventions. Users can filter for all API-enabled objects, but limited to those that are audit-enabled via Classic. Note the use of the term record. While in the modern UX, that is consistent with the term used for disable editing record used in Blueprint business rules. So we felt it was okay to change that name. The audit page will ship with a default or out-of-the-box date filter as part of the standard view. The filter will show all audit records for the previous 10 days. Limiting the amount of information presented to the user when they first land on the page will certainly improve the user experience. So let's talk about what we're going to see in the demo. First, you'll get just a quick view of how the user permission to access the audit tile functions for a given user. And then we'll just jump into the area, the administrative area itself, and look at filtering, the save views, and export to CSV. So let's take a look at that right now. Okay, you can see I've landed on the tiles page, and I'm logged in as Ian, an administrator. And I'll go down to the administration area, and you can see there's an audit a tile here. And the permission that Ian in this case has is, this navigate right. It's consistent with accessing other tiles in this page. Also, so let me take a look at the classic experience here as well. There's no change in the audit area. You can see the same page exists here, and the user simply selects an object they wish to review data for. And again, these are audit-enabled objects. And the method by which um, objects are enabled for audit has not changed either. So I'll just take a look at project. I'll go to the Audit Trail section. And you can see here are the attributes that are on the left-hand side is the available set. And there's just a few that have been configured: percent complete, finish, start, manager, and the objective, which is a custom field for this particular project area. Okay, so that's access to the audit tile. Real quick, I'm going to log out and come back in as Dana Lewis. And she's got a different permission set. I'll come down into administration area, and you can see she's got, again, a limited set of navigate rights to, and in particular does not have access to the audit tile area. So I'll just come back as Ian, and we'll continue down into the administration audit area. So as I mentioned, this is the same configurable grid capability that is used throughout the product. You'll see export to CSV as an example. I can bring that up. Let me increase the size a little bit. I've got my machine set to convert things right away to to open up in Excel. So that's a capability you can take advantage of. This is not export to Excel. There was some extra configuration I did on my specific machine to get it to work. Anyway, you can see the same information is coming down across the objects here: products, risks, products, timesheets, and some various details. So export to CSV is standard capability here. I'm just going to close that out. Here's my filter I wanted to talk about. I just happened to name this the 10-day audit. That was a name I applied to the standard view. But this is the default filter that ships with the standard view 10 days prior to the current date. And this is designed, to improve or kind of filter or reduce the amount of information that's presented to the user the first time they come in. Now, of course, this X allows you to remove the filter. We've seen a lot of customers that have a lot of data, so you just need to be aware of that, and you could, have some performance concerns or see the loading data dialog message for some period of time. And in order to improve that experience, we always recommend using filters. So this is the one that ships out of the box. And of course, it can be removed. So I just named that 10-day. So notice it's showing information for products, risk, projects, and timesheet. And you can see the record. In this case, a risk has a parent attribute. This is the project that it's related to, and I changed what attribute was changed, what operation took place, old value, new value, who did it, and when. Now you'll notice right off, this doesn't, Classic has a timestamp included. We are looking at for a future release, an improved a way for the user to include a timestamp if they wish. So we don't think it's always required, but we're investigating a way to improve that. From a save view perspective, this is the same capability that's provided throughout the application. Obviously, the audit area has its own unique views. So here's just one where I've selected the view for projects. I've got a timesheet audit specifically set up here. Note the timesheet object Timesheet is not really a Studio object. It is simply there in Studio to enable it for audit. We've got a record here for Tom Morris, the particular period. What did he update? Looks like he made a few entries within the grid itself, and then submitted the timesheet. We can go to the details flyout and see it went from an open state to a submitted state on this particular date. The other thing I wanted to show here was when you're filtering on, I'll just get rid of this object filter and I'll add one, come back. The listing here is going to be limited to those objects that have been audit enabled. At least one record has been set up, or one attribute has been configured for audit. So that's the object area. Is not going to show every object in the system. And it does not include the non-project investment objects. So be aware of that. So yeah, I just wanted to also confirm that from the global audit perspective, this area has not changed. You'll notice that you still go through the same user experience to select an object. When I select project, I will also get the sub-objects associated with this project. So risks will also be presented in the screen. And notice the parent name is also populated in Classic. And if I go to risk, I'll just get the risk. I won't get the parent name. And I wanted to show you something a little bit different as to how the modern user experience presents itself. I can, well, let me go to my, I'll bring in the parent column here. And I'll do that. So when I select risk, I just selected risk, I get obviously my risk and the parent. So if I'm changing the scope, the record called scope change, and I do get the parent. It's automatically included. However, if I select the project object, notice I don't get the risk like I did in Classic. So just be aware of that. You're not going to automatically get the sub-objects included in the view here. But it's really nice experience. I get the old value for the objective, the new value. I was able to leverage the wrap text capability there to present things all in one view. All right, this concludes the introducing audit for the modern user experience. I appreciate your time today. Thank you.